We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
And it is actually Mixed Martial Mindset with my good friend John Fitch. Fitch, a lot to talk about, but I would be remiss if I did not discuss the powerhouse that was the UFC card over the weekend. Did you catch it?
It was fantastic. I talked about it heavily on John Fitch Knows Nothing on Sunday. It was fireworks. It really was. It was a great card. A lot of people fought very hard. Check out the John Fitch Knows Nothing Clips channel. I've got some things about some of the top fights that I saw that night. Check out the normal channel and watch the full podcast, and you'll be entertained.
Yeah, I mean, start to finish.
Fights. They're good.
Start to finish a banger. Even the ones that went to decision, they were impressive fights. You get like 1 to 3 of those cards in MMA a year, like not just the UFC. You get like, that's very, very rare. You're lucky to get those cards.
It's almost. I mean, that was the
Fight
that was
week.
the old school. That was the old school fight cards. When we had 6 events a year, you know. We had cards like that. We had like 7 like crazy good fights. Mm-hmm. But now that we have, 3 events a month, it's
more than that. It's usually 4. Like let's be honest. For us now, Bellator at least once a month usually. Sometimes they even do twice a month. So you got that.
Well, I was just referring to UFC themselves.
Well, I'm saying MMA cards in general because you do have some top level international fighters that won now.
It's almost too much.
They've slowed it down a little bit, I've noticed. Recently the UFC's pumped the brakes a little bit. I know there's a fight night card on Saturday.
Say, man,
but
the best fantasy thing to happen for the sport of MMA is for Zuffa, which is the company name that owns UFC, which is owned by WME, should split with the UFC and become 2 separate businesses. And Zuffa should be the promoter, and they sign fighters to contracts and they pay people out, and then UFC becomes the league, right? They become the independent title holder, and they allow all the other promotions to join, right?
It's never
that would
happened.
be the ideal, because then the UFC league head would only have to have their fight pass and one TV deal, and we would end up seeing every fight on one place.
Listen,
in one place.
Right now,
it's my fantasy land dream. If I could wave my wand, if I could wave my magic fighter wand and make things happen, that would be it.
I'm just saying this. Right now, there's top-level MMA across the world. Circuses are happening. It really looks like Zuck is going to fight Musk. Like, Zuck was training.
I keep seeing that shit.
Dude, he looks jacked. He's with Adesanya, and who was the other one? He's in the middle of Adesanya.
There's a lot of psyops going on. There's a lot of new psyops going on. I think we need to pay attention to. And this is one of them. Like, it's like a humanization of these guys.
I know.
Right? So it's like maybe Zuckerberg with his his massive spying platform, Meta or Facebook, whatever, and Zuckerberg, or not Zuckerberg, but Musker nuts. He's got access. He's going to put satellites everywhere. He's gonna have Skynet. He is Skynet. I just watched Terminator 2, 1 and 2 with my boys.
Great
movies. They're all about paying attention to Skynet now, and so like he's got the Skynet capabilities, and Zuckernuts is spying on everybody, knows everything about you and everybody you know and everywhere you go and all of that, and he's trying to get you to upload yourself and your consciousness to this metaverse. So they're trying to humanize these people who potentially are going to do like massively evil, horrible things.
I mean, right now, SpaceX nears 150. This is today, 150 billion valuation after agreement with investors to sell 750 million in stock. Okay, so look, this guy is military-industrial complex all the way. Musk. I can't. To me, it feels like a psyop on the end of Musk, because Zuckerberg, I don't care how much smaller he is. I mean, look at Volkanovsky. He is going to, if they get in that cage, I don't give a rat's ass what kind of martial arts training that 50-plus-year-old man and what kind of test they put him on or HGH. It ain't going to matter. Zuck's like in his mid-30s.
I don't think Musker Nuts has been training long enough or has been training with high enough caliber people long enough. My coach that I got my black belt from, Dave Camarillo, is the guy who's been training Zuckerberg. Dave's no joke. No, Dave knows what he's talking about. Dave got his black belt from Half Gracie. Half Gracie is one of the roughest, one of the Gracies. Okay? And now in his old age, he's soft and gentle and nice, and he'll smile. You might see him smile sometimes.
Oh.
But when he was in his 20s, he was the guy that he might make you disappear.
What do you mean? You know, one of my, I don't want to say it's my favorite things, but one of the most eye-opening Gracie things that I was ever watching, and this is back in the day when like YouTube was first out there, UFC was still pretty raw, we're pre-100 easy, you know what I'm saying? And yeah. I look up a Hickson.
You can actually see a lot of independent people were taking fight videos and making highlights and stuff, and that was like one of my favorite things to see. Like you could find fights from all over the place that were going on that happened a long time ago, and people would cut them together and put together some like magnificent art. It was art. I don't know what to call it. I want to call it content. It's a disrespect to just say, oh, it's content. But like it was good stuff to watch. But then like when UFC's monopoly like took hold, it put a big restriction on people's use of a lot of that video footage.
That's true. But this, talk about disrespect. This was footage of Hickson Gracie, buff as mother trucking hell, in like a mankini, red mankini, walking up to just some random big dude on the beach and just kicking sand on him and being like, talk, and then they go right there. Probably didn't know who it was, didn't care, just picked the biggest, meanest dude. They
probably there's a good chance they knew who he was.
Well, there's a good chance.
It was a big thing because, like, you know, it wasn't random. The Gracies doing those things, they weren't random. They knew what they were doing. It's genius and it's smart, and I'm applauding it. It's not like I'm bad mouthing this, but like they knew they targeted other martial arts instructors, other people who were tough guys, anybody who had a rep of being like a fight specialist, because they were trying to prove that their family's system was better than anything in Brazil, anything in their neighborhoods, anything around. And they wanted to prove that. And if they heard, hey, this guy was a tough guy, he won a bunch of fights on the beach. All right, here we go. Let's make a name for ourselves. This is where we do it.
Oh, they did it. I mean, again,
they did it. They did it over and over and over and over and over again for a very long time.
They did it. I mean, again, they basically took over the entire sport until Militich Fighting Systems came along. Militich Fighting Systems and kind of took over the belts at that time, and then all of a sudden, all the camps started expanding, and especially your camp had a great run. I mean,
wrestlers started learning counter jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely.
So things started to change up a little bit. But then the wrestlers got a big kick in the dick when they decided to start doing fast stand-ups.
Yeah. Well, you know what my problem was?
Because the guys on bottom stopped fighting from bottom, because now all they had to do is stop the action. So if I can hug you and I can close my guard and stop the action for enough time, the ref stands us up.
And because
It
of the
kills all
monopoly.
the action. To me, that's the biggest thing that holds fights back today.
Well,
We should have knees to the head on the ground.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say. That was exactly what I was going to say.
Yes.
The fact that you take away your largest striking tool, and basically the most offense that's not submission that you can go with is maybe a crucifix and then elbows down. Mark the Hammer Coleman, he used
from a down position.
Yeah.
Like the hammer, the elbows are going to be your most useful tool from being on the ground and ground fighting. But those knees, like I utilize knees a lot into the thighs, the glutes, and the ribs as much as I could, and they were very effective. They would give up a lot. I would give up a lot of positions because of those knees coming in. If you could get to half guard, and I have on my website, not website, on my YouTube channel, I have a tournament I fought in Mexico where they allowed you could wear wrestling shoes and kick, and you could soccer kick and knee to the head on the ground. So my last fight, the last fight of the night, the fight for the belt, I had the guy in half guard up against the fence, and I just started throwing knees to the head, the guy who's in half guard on the fence. And, of course, game over.
Game over, man.
Quickly.
All right.
You get about 3 or 4 of those in, even though they're not perfectly clean. It's like that. Nope. Done.
We are talking MMA. I want to talk this Hollywood strike because the Actors Guild is now on strike. It's a big deal, not because of Hollyweird, but because of what they're saying and talking about AI and Wall Street. We're going to play that clip. But
AI's taking over a lot of things.
Dude,
it's in an office.
They're taking it all over. I want, because we are talking MMA right now. We are kind of talking Hollyweird, and we're talking sideshows. It's supposedly happening in October. It's Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, and PFL seems to be promoting it somehow.
Huge win for fighters. And so now we can see a little window of hope and what it could be. Francis will make more in this fight than he's ever made in any fight in his MMA career combined. All of his paydays combined will be less than what he makes for this. And that was going to be stopped because the UFC wasn't going to let him because they're a monopoly. The only reason Francis Ngannou had this opportunity to do this at all is because the class action fighters antitrust lawsuit. The UFC changed provisions in their contract so they wouldn't get sued again for the same crimes, right? So that put a 5-year sunset clause in the contracts. Ngannou had a good manager who paid attention to this, and they played that out. On his fifth fight, that was his last title defense for the UFC against Gane. Right, Gane. And he won, so he leaves the UFC. His contract expired. It's the first time it's ever happened in UFC history, not on accident, not because people love it there and want to stay there, not because there's nowhere else to go, but because they were forced to put a sunset clause into their contracts that opened up the window for him to step out and test the waters as an independent contractor when he's at his most valuable. Because he is still, like, I see all these articles and they're definite slander to me because they call him former UFC champ, former UFC heavyweight champ. He never lost. He's the current UFC heavyweight champ.
You could at least call him millennial champ. I mean, they love doing that in boxing, right? Oh, the millennial
champ. They should at least mention that he left the UFC as the champ. He is the best heavyweight in MMA right now, period. You can argue and raise a fit about.
I mean, on any given Sunday, there's a few guys, Stipe, John, maybe,
fight him
but
3 years ago and he didn't.
I'd say this, like, don't get me wrong, he's still number one. No one's beat him. Stipe beat him, but he beat Stipe. That's the bottom line, right?
And he beat him bad.
He beat him back. Yeah, the guy's got lightning in his hands. There's no doubt about that. Tyson,
he's pretty humble. He works hard. It seems like he's not a party guy.
That's also true. So, listen, man, I know I'm going to watch it, like you said. And what are they going to charge for that in the States? $100? Easy. It's going to be $99.99.
I'll pay $79.98.
Is that it? $79.99 and you're out?
I'll pay it. $79.98. I'll pay for it. No problems. No questions asked.
No questions asked. All right.
But it's just, I don't know. So he's got this opportunity because of the lawsuit. No one else is going to have this opportunity, though, because guess what? After he has pulled this off, the the UFC went back and changed their contracts. So now, fuck you. It's like, whoops, we didn't know that somebody would actually exercise their rights and become a free agent. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You know, they put so much pressure on him, and that's what they do. They tell you, like, you're worthless without us. No one cares about you. No one cares about your name. You can't do anything without us. We're the reason you have a name. We're the reason anybody cares about you. It's really an abusive relationship. If you had a boyfriend or girlfriend who talked to you and treated you the way the UFC treats their fighters, your friends would want to call the police.
All right. Let's play this clip. This is Fran Drescher. No one's calling the police. By the way, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Guys, we are losing subscribers every single month on YouTube. It's over on YouTube.
Algorithm.
Oh, man. It's been brutal. We're everywhere. I just had, by the way, I want to let everybody know the 2 premiums this weekend are going to be great. Chad Lavrow, who I was with on January 6th, before the Capitol incident at the Ellipse. We go over that whole thing. And then I had Nick Bryant on, who just launched EpsteinJustice.com, EpsteinJustice.com, where my man, who is an author, a journalist, the guy that got the actual Black Book published, has now banded together with a bunch of the victims and started this this charitable organization to try to see justice for these people and accountability for the criminals. And, it's about taking down a network that has truly effed us over for a very, very long time. And that network, by the way, includes these people that thought that they were going to talk to the Holly weirdos that had been there all these years and say, hey, no, this is what we're doing. We're going to license your likeness. We're going to use AI. We're going to automate you out. They're going to automate out Hollywood. And to Fran Drescher and the Actors Guild, good for them. This is actually a very powerful speech. Here we go.
Thank you, Duncan, and thank you, everybody, for coming to this press conference today. It's really important that this negotiation be covered because the eyes of the world, and particularly the eyes of labor, are upon us. What happens here is important because what's happening to us is happening across all fields of labor. By means of when employers make Wall Street and greed their priority and they forget about the essential contributors that make the machine run, we have a problem. And
I have a problem. I have a problem with Fran Drescher. I have a problem with the cries, the wolf tears.
She does smile right now.
No, because SAG is they're supposed to be there for performers, artists, people, creators, those type of peoples, right? That's what they're for. That's what it's for. But what have they done for professional wrestling? What have they done for MMA? What have they done for boxing? Aren't those performance organizations? Aren't those creators? Aren't those people who deserve organization? Where the hell have you guys been for us? Where?
Again,
I haven't had any. I've never heard of anybody from SAG ever reaching out. I've never heard of anybody from SAG speaking out. Not even like Joe Rogan. I haven't heard Rogan or any of his guys, any of his cohorts. They're all SAG members. They all enjoy the benefits of an organization, of somebody who's in their industry organization. Why don't they support? Why can't we get boxers? I think SAG could step up and help boxers, pro wrestlers, and MMA people all at the same time. I think they have the power and the ability to do that. We're entertainment. We are entertainers.
I will say this. The one thing that you aren't going to automate out, though, is pro sports. At least, you know what I mean? At least not combat sports. There's going to be a lot of bread and circus.
We'll see how good the robots get. I've watched some robot wars before.
I mean, eventually, let's. You know what, John? Let's not even think.
But it's never going to. Yeah,
that's down the line. That's when they
combat. I don't think it's ever going to.
No, that's after. No, the only way that changes is if they actually change the species, which they do want to do. But right now we're at the automation stage. Okay,
maybe some Imagine that they mix some gorilla DNA with Mike Tyson and Adrian Adesanya.
You don't think they've done
Right?
something like that, bro?
Like,
you know what?
just-
I'm so glad.
Yeah, let's
Listen,
do
let's,
it.
let's
I
take it
wanna
down
watch
for a
that
second.
fight.
Hold on. Where is it? Do I even have it here, man?
We pick our 3 favorite fighters to mix together and grow them in a lab.
So just so everybody knows,
we make them fight to the death,
Annie
and then we eat the winner.
Listen, Annie Jacobson. We're gonna go to her Twitter page. I noticed that she's now liked another tweet where I'm referenced talking about her new book being about transhumanism. Let's go to her Twitter. Let's find Annie. Let me just show you what this book looks like, bro. So far.
Oh, we gotta talk about the
look at this.
Miss Universe dude.
This is the
point,
second. This is the second edit. That's what we're dealing with right now, bro. You understand?
Second edit of what is this? The second edit of?
Exactly. Look, this is the woman that wrote Operation Paperclip, Area 51, The Pentagon's Brain, First Police, all the books that I reference. Okay, and she said the new book that she's writing. Very soon, I will reveal my new book's terrifying subject matter and its publication date. All right? So this is her second edit on this thing. And as I've called, it's about transhumanism. Notice she's liking the tweets where I'm predicting it's about transhumanism. So look, man, we're in automation stage. We're going to keep playing this clip because it's important. She gets even wilder. She tells you it's about AI. But this is going to happen to so many industries. This is going to happen to healthcare. This is going to happen to the school system if we allow these guys.
Legal system, like you can get a lawyer, an AI lawyer.
It's common.
We are experiencing
you tell me
that.
a human being knows more than all of the internet's knowledge.
Yeah, but the problem with the lawyer thing is not only do you have, again, it's garbage in, garbage out. What if they don't get the right cases? What, you know what I mean? A lot of that's case law. And the other part about being a lawyer is...
Well, I mean, if the AI knows all the case law...
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if it doesn't?
Supposedly supposed
what
to
if
know.
certain parts of case law are purposely censored on whatever app or device or...
Well, yeah, that's the major problem.
Yeah, that's a huge problem. I mean, and it's not censored for
It's like, oh, we don't like this decision on this thing, so let's make sure no one ever finds it.
That's right. Yep, exactly.
Right at this moment, this is a very seminal hour for us. I went in earnest, thinking that we would be able to avert a strike. The gravity of this move is not lost on me or our negotiating committee or our board members who have voted unanimously to proceed with a strike. It's a very serious thing that impacts thousands, if not millions of people all across this country and around the world. Not only members of this union, but people who work in other industries that service the people that work in this industry.
No, listen. She likes her tea and crumpets, bro. You know, I'm sure you've been around Hollywood sets every once in a while. Have you? I mean, you're out in California.
We're such ruffians. We don't deserve representation.
They're talking about the
collective
catering.
bargaining.
Look, I think there's a place for unions, obviously. I think some unions, like the teachers' union, are extremely corrupt.
It's saying it's like it's easy to attack unions because there are some bullshit unions that do a lot of fucking bullshit. But a group of workers I believe a group of workers have a right to band together. I think that unions should be allowed to cross industry and not just a single employer.
Yeah.
You know, I think you should have an entire electrical union, an entire plumbers union, an entire retail salesman union, stretch across all jobs, because I think workers have a right to demand a boundary around treatment and behavior and pay.
I totally agree. I mean, again, like we're in a situation now where I remember reading The Jungle by Upton Sinclair as a kid. And it was telling you about, the big...
Eat the rat meat.
That's it right there. Like, the big thing is the guy falls into the vat and everybody ends up eating them anyway because that's just how they roll. And it's child labor, and it's the ghettos in New York, and all these other things. But from what
I show pictures of the 3-year-old chimney sweeps to my sons when they complain about having to do like work or whatever on the house.
I like that, Fitch. That's good stuff right there. That's great. But that's
we have
real.
this little Abraham Lincoln book too. When it starts off with him out in the woods, he's 8 years old, and he's out in the woods with a shotgun hunting for dinner. And I was like, boys, you understand this? He's got younger siblings at home, a mother and a father at home. He's 8. He's responsible for finding food. He's responsible for finding meat for the family that night. Quit complaining about, putting away your socks, damn it.
Oh man, so right now I've got something going on that's never happened here on the show while we're doing this. We're still broadcasting, but I can no longer switch scenes or do any kind of fast edits on this anymore for some reason, because that whole thing just browned out on me. It's been a weird day, everybody. That's all I can say. Huh. But we can still watch the rest of the video, bring up more articles in chat, but this is going to be the screen for the rest of the show. I just want to let everybody know I can't switch it back. Dude, John, like I said, man, I was telling you before this. Well, let's take a break and bullshit. Why not? It's mixed martial mindset. I'm about to hit the road for 14 hours. My brother, I'm not sure if he's still in the chat, but he was before. I'm going to my niece's high school graduation.
Oh, nice.
Oh, bro.
You got a chaperone?
I mean, dude, I know. I hope it's not.
Some kids for getting too close?
I don't think it's going to be like that. I hope not. Because I can't imagine. I tell you what, I have no idea.
Them kids today, man, I worry. I do my learn to fight videos, and there's a lot of instances with children's fighting at school and then fighting with their teachers. Even it's wild, man. I don't know if this was always happening and we just didn't have social media to share every single fight, but I don't feel like this stuff ever really used to happen when I was in school. I don't remember big fights and brawls and things like that. There might have been like less than 5 that I could name in that whole like 4 high school year experience where people actually like fought.
I mean, as far as big time brawls, I mean, believe me, I got my ass.
Even like somebody smacking a phone out of a teacher's hand and like pushing them and like
we didn't have phones.
That's crazy to me.
I know, but we didn't
I'm
have
an old
phones.
Man.
That's
like,
the thing.
I guess that's just normal.
This thing, dude. This thing,
just like
it's changed the culture. It's created entitlement.
Well, yeah,
and
a
narcissism.
lot of these kids have never not had their screen. Right? They started off at a young age getting a screen put in front of their face. Their parents' phone, then they got an iPad or a tablet, they get computers, their own phone, then they go to school. And that's like the thing I see the fights that most break out are about is the teacher said that their phone was a distraction and they had to take it away, and the students like flipping out because they want the phone back. That's like 98% of the time. That's what's going on.
I'm just hoping to have a good family time. Have a good family time. Hug my niece before she goes down to Florida to be in college, and my mom and my other sister are down there. I'm not sure how I feel about that either. It's weird, man. Like I know you realize it because you're my age, but like that's the oldest in the new clan of Bermas, on that side. But now she's 18 years old. I'm still childless. Jesus, I would just kill to be a single dad right now. Ladies, if you don't want, you just kind of want to maybe have a kid, I'm around. I'm a good dad. I promise. I want to take care of one. But my brother's got 2 young kids. Obviously, I take care of my nieces. I had to pick up and bring my niece to work today. Like it's her first month in her first job. She's over at Dairy Queen. I'm proud of her for that. Yeah, that was crazy to me, dude. I went to pick her up today. We're 3 years deep in Iowa, and like the person she's working with is still wearing a mask. Like the only person in any kind of vicinity that's still wearing a mask.
I see it every once in a while here in California, but I guess mostly, it's pretty on. And didn't the CDC even release like studies and things saying that like it was not good to wear a mask for more than an hour?
It doesn't. They're over, dude. This is like an overweight woman wearing a mask under her nose.
I know, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
The institution that told them to wear it in the first place is now telling them it's harmful to wear it for more than
You know
an
what?
hour.
I don't even want to. We're still on YouTube right now, so let's not even talk about it
That's
yet.
true, that's true.
I don't even know what the rules are anymore. Like,
Trouble.
yeah, who knows? I'm YouTube. I'm ignorant of anything John Fitch just said.
You want to start? Hey, you want to get banned? Let's talk about the Amish and the fact that they don't ever have autism.
I'm so weird. Listen, I lived amongst the Amish. That's where I'm going,
Isn't that
John.
crazy?
I'm
Isn't
going
that
to
crazy?
Amish country.
Like all of the worst ailments that we're suffering from in the Western like modern culture, none, zero in the Amish.
Yeah. And just so you know, again,
I wonder what major factors they have in their life that we don't that makes that a thing. If only there was a way to study it and know what it was.
They also don't have anywhere near.
Hasn't figured it out.
They don't have anywhere near the amounts of cancer and autoimmune disorders.
Yep.
Period. That's not a thing for them. You know. And I will say this.
I think a lot of that will actually have to do with
their diet and their lifestyle.
Food they're eating, processed food or not.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing that we would probably get a strike for on the tubes could be a factor.
Yeah, we're not talking about that thing. I will say this. Again, I'm going to Amish country, just so you know.
Because that's the thing. Because it's not even about whether they're good or bad. It's like, are they even necessary? Because if the Amish aren't getting those things at all and they're not suffering in any way from the diseases that we're told we're going to suffer from, isn't that enough to be like, okay, this is a total like waste?
Not when it's worth billions of dollars, John.
Why the hell are we spending money to have these things that don't actually do anything? If the Amish are healthier, they have less incidences of the things that we have. It seems like something people should know.
I mean, you'd think that. And you know what? As far as the diet, just so everybody, again, there's 100% chance when I go home I will encounter horse and buggies and Amish people. They shop at my grocery store. Like so it's not like they just eat off the farm. Don't get me wrong, they do eat off the farm and they are farmers. But at the same time, they'll get they'll get a thing of cereal. They're usually a lot tamer. You don't see them filling up on the sugar boxes. But like, especially like the old man boss Amish guy that gets to have a car. He gets to have like a truck and he's always got a lot of money. You might see some Doritos in his cart. I'm just saying. I mean, it's not like they wouldn't cheat. They're hardworking people.
100%. Especially nowadays, you see there's plenty of Amish out with cell phones. My mom sent me a picture of a buggy getting fast food from McDonald's.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yes.
Yeah, there's gonna be some Western influence on the Amish, but even then, there's certain things that they're not doing that we do as a scheduled treatment, because if we didn't do them, supposedly bad things would happen that aren't happening to the group of people who don't do them at all. That's just really interesting. That's all I'm saying. Maybe we should look into it.
Maybe
we should Eddie Bravo it. Look into it.
I need to get Bravo on the show. I haven't talked to him in years. Actually, that's not true. He was on a
long time either.
He was on a Ray meeting maybe 6 months ago, but I wasn't like I was really chatting with him. He was just in the forum. Since we're talking about maybe some big pharma stuff, this is the proper response. See, this is a mother that failed and is ashamed of herself, but she failed because she was on antidepressants. Okay, so
is she a single mom?
I would imagine, but at the same time, it's basically the toddler.
Well, no, I'm just like the medical industry, the psychological industry needs to have a major scrutiny placed over it. It seems like they're creating and making up a lot of fake ailments and then creating drugs to give people for those fake ailments.
So it looks like they were together.
Really, like, hey, you're sad. Go for a walk once a day for 30 minutes. And then that's enough. Oh, wow. Oh, you need exercise. Oh, my God. But instead, they're like, oh, you need to take 30 milligrams of this freaking sedative twice a day.
So I guess it's not a single mom because they put the father in jail as well. But she, again, this is a woman who's, how old is she? 27.
So you got two parents still can't get it together.
And I'm telling you right now, here's the problem. And they'll try to demonize the marijuana pipe, okay? How about the Xanax? The Xanax is what did this. I guarantee. First of all, the Xanax is what killed the child. Because if the child had just eaten some marijuana, he might have felt a little woozy. He would have come back. But he ate too many of her antidepressants, and he died of an overdose of those pills.
How old was this kid?
17 months, got into it like it was candy.
17 months?
Yeah.
17 months got into... Where the hell are you keeping your...
I'm not saying these people are parents of the year.
I suspect foul play. 17-month-old. How do you not have your pills, like, even if they're just up on a counter and put in a childproof container? How the hell does a child get to that?
Probably left
Seriously,
it open.
think about that.
Yeah, no, it's probably left it open.
How does a 17-month-old get on top of a counter? Maybe he's got a step stool, whatever. Even then, he knows how to get the child cap open at 17 months.
No, she probably, listen, man, she's probably drugged out of her mind. That's my point. She's on Xanax. She's a zombie, man. Like, you just leave the pills out. Who knows? Who fucking knows? This guy.
Or she fucking got fed up and gave the Xanax pill to the kid because she wanted it to go to sleep.
Yikes. I hope not. I don't know. She's got two other
I'm just
sons.
saying, man. I don't know. I've had aspirin bottles laying around and had the kids like have an aspirin bottle in the hand and have no idea how to get the thing open. Like,
I'm just saying she's owning it. She says, Caden is my world and I failed him so badly. I let my drug addiction destroy my precious son's life and my two other sons' lives as well. I mean, she's crying her eyes out in the video, dude. Like, she doesn't look like the smartest. She might even, it's awful, man. But those drugs, they're just, my point is this. Those drugs are just as bad. They didn't find a crack pipe. They found Xanax. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They didn't find meth.
But she got them legally. A doctor said she could have those drugs. They said she needed them. Go ahead and have it.
Awful. I'm glad this guy's out of jail. I can't believe they put him in jail. But CVS worker who ended up stabbing a serial shoplifter to death in the store as he was robbing them. like again, he's out of jail. He shouldn't be in jail. Like, he got attacked by the guy for trying to stop him. He didn't just start stabbing the guy. He tried to stop him from breaking the law, and then he stabbed the guy to death. I mean, this is the jungle right now, New York City. It's the real deal.
No, there's a guy who, the guy up here in the Bay, I think, who shot somebody for stealing, and he didn't get charged, so luckily that's good. But at the same time, there was another guy who stabbed somebody on the subway because he was acting up, but the ex-Marine is still in prison. He's still getting tried for murder for choking a guy who didn't die from the choke. That's what the big thing they don't tell you. He didn't die from the choke. He died later at the hospital.
Yeah, and probably was cracked out of his mind. This is a long time drug addict.
Exactly. He was probably on he was on a shitload of drugs probably at the time, and probably had some heart issues because of the drugs he's been on.
So check this out.
Much like the Floyd guy.
Yeah,
Floyd.
the George Floyd. Let's not even get into that incident. Let's go from let's go from medical tyranny and ridiculousness to medical holy shizzle whiz nizzle. So this kid, apparently, this 12-year-old, was internally decapitated. Another had his spine separated.
Yes.
And after a car accident. Now, through surgeons, he can walk again without any help. They reattached it out. And that is huge, man.
It's wild. So my friend, Red Pill Thor, he's a creator out there in the Red Pill space. His wife was in an accident, and she was had her spine internally severed. So she's going through the rehabilitation for that right now, and she has to walk with a walker and stuff now. Jesus. It's wild.
It is wild. I mean, this is, just for me, this is pretty amazing. Maybe it's because this kid is younger that they're able to reattach it and he's able to heal quicker, but just good news. We like some good news every once in a while. and technology, especially in the medical field, because I'm not against doctors. I'm not against science.
They didn't turn him into a cyborg. He doesn't have a robot head
That's right.
or robot legs, spider robot legs.
He does not.
We saved him, but now he's a spider robot.
What's this right here? Oh, that was her here. What did I have? DMs. I mean, that's all I've got for today, Fitch. Why don't you tell people what you got going on over at johnfitch.net?
Go sign up for the newsletter. I have seminars and camps and things coming up. I have a wrestling camp here in San Jose coming up on the 24th of July, only a couple weeks away. It'll be 3 days, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., doing 3 different focuses on each day. So you can come for the whole thing or one day. I'll be in Vegas, July 29th at One Kicks Gym, teaching some Smash, some Top Game. And then I will be in Indiana, right? I'm going to be in Lafayette, Indiana, August 4th. And then Fort Wayne, Indiana, August 5th and 6th at Sudden Impact. I'm at Asgard in Lafayette. So I've got a number of teaching events and things going on, some road stuff going on. Check them out. I also got the self-defense programs and stuff. Check out the link tree in any of my descriptions or bios and my social media. Check those things out. Make sure you're watching John Fitch Knows Nothing, Sunday nights live at 7 p.m. on the left coast. I got Fitch Pill and Learn to Fight videos coming up regularly. Also, today the Fitch Pill dropped, talked about Jonah Hill's little incident breaking up with his girlfriend.
Listen, that's garbage to me. Did you see what else he got accused of?
What else did he get accused of?
I might still have it.
The 14-year-old said he was 24.
16 and 24.
It's man, they always pile up.
But the problem is with that, he hangs out with James Franco, and there were shady DMs with Franco and 16-year-old girls when he was like 30 as well.
Well, you want a real asshole take on this?
Let's hear it.
Right? We're in California, and that's legal.
Is it? Is that
If
the
he's
legal
24,
age?
there's a 10-year. They just made it legal in California.
Now,
If she
that's
was
terrible.
14, if she was 14 and he was 24, it's legal in California.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, but that's not a good take. That's a crazy law.
Well, hey, so that's all I'm saying, though.
I know.
Like, yeah, people want to complain about what? Something that's
Look,
legal?
if you're
you wanna cry
20
about
and 17,
drinking a beer
you
when
know,
you're 21.
like I'm never gonna say 20 and 17. I think that's
I'm not
probably
saying
the
it's
limit.
good. I'm just saying, like, hey, this is what you're supporting. If you support the California measures, these California ideas, if you want this shit to spread to you, you can look forward to the same thing in your state and where you live. You can have 24-year-old messaging and having sex with your 14-year-old daughter, and it's 100% legal. That's what's legal in California. It's legal right now in California.
It's terrible.
You can also knowingly inject somebody with AIDS, and that's legal.
No bueno. All right, guys, you know my drill. I'm live 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursday. And then you can find me at ampnews.us at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I've had a slew of great guests this week, by the way. Really interesting stuff. Tomorrow I'm interviewing Kash Patel. So Kash Patel and I are going to be mixing it up. I'm going to have to write that stuff down. Like I said, I'm hitting the road tomorrow. And hopefully I won't miss a beat. I think that I might have some substitute hosts on Amp News for Monday and Tuesday, but I think I'm going to do pre-records for Red Voice while I'm in a hotel or walking around the park or doing the things I like to do in New York. So guys, I love you. Fitch, thanks so much. We'll see you all in the